Let's go back in the kitchen. It's time to make the recipe. So we're in the farmhouse kitchen ready to make the recipe. And what is the recipe?
We are making shatta or jug, and it's a Middle Eastern dip. And so I found this recipe by Cookie and Kate and slightly adapted it because you've got some allergies, and also for our family, we do like things a little bit spicy and a little bit fun.
Yeah, so the original recipe does call for pumpkin seeds, and some pumpkin seeds I can't eat.
Yeah. It also calls for walnuts as well. So that's the alternative, but again, you can eat those. So I chose to use raw sunflower seeds instead, so that it gives it the same sort of profile.
All right, so this shatta, which I didn't know the jug, I didn't know that name of it. We are going to be using parsley and cilantro. So the parsley does come from the garden. And also the garlic also comes from the garden, but the cilantro, because I didn't have enough yet, we went and bought some.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna mix this up in the blender, I say.
Yeah, it is the easiest recipe, to be honest. I've spent some time working this recipe to fit how our family likes things, and then I've tested it on some other people and they really like it as well. So I take about 240 grams of the cilantro and 240 grams of the parsley. We don't need to do much of a rough chop because our blender does quite a great job. So I'm gonna put the parsley in the bottom.
Well, I think with the cilantro, I don't think it's really needed.
No, we might not need to.
It's pretty small sprigs.
Okay.
So I think you can just go ahead and put that in.
And I do add the stems and all. Nothing is wasted in the recipe. Then I add the peppers. And I do 260 grams of peppers.
With seeds?
With seeds.
So I'm just gonna chop off the tops.
And what I've done here, because 260 grams of jalapeno is really stinking hot, what I usually do is find a good jalapeno or two, depending on the size that they are. And then I use an Anaheim pepper. The pepper does help with the texture to make it more of a thicker dip so that you can put it on a chip or a pita.
And so this is kind of a Middle Eastern dish.
It has ties in the Middle East. Unfortunately, nobody really knows who started it. There's lays to claim on many different countries. So I just give it a broad term of Middle Eastern. And they do it in different ways. There are red ones, there are the green ones. Some of them are fermented, and some of them just rely heavily on the peppers.
Okay. And then we're gonna add in a garlic clove.
We're gonna add 6 garlic cloves. It is heavy on the garlic, but you can add more again to your taste.
To what you want. So I'm just gonna kind of do the end here and then we'll peel them up. Because this is not dried, because this is just recently harvested.
So we're needing 6 of those garlic cloves.
We're just gonna put it all in.
Okay. That's fine.
Now this garlic does have some heat.
Yeah, so it might end up being a spicier shatta. We like to put ours with labneh, which is that spreadable yogurt cheese
That you make.
that I make. It's also good just on yogurt or sour cream if you're needing something to cool it.
But this is a really refreshing and the health benefits, especially with cilantro and parsley together.
Cilantro in and of itself is a huge heavy metal detoxer. So it's good for aluminum, cadmium, arsenic, mercury, and lead. I know. So it's also good for oxidative stress. So those things that kind of sit in the back of our mind that causes other problems, including Alzheimer's. And then further to that, it does help with blood sugar. It's also good for UTIs and just good for the tummy, and that's cilantro. Then parsley in and of itself has vitamin A, C, and K.
Wow.
Really good for your bones, of course. It's also good for like getting rid of bloating, good for digestion as well. And then it's rich in antioxidants. And those are the things that help to get rid of free radicals in our cells.
Okay.
So all of the external stress, we've got internal and external. And so it works with both of them.
Wow. So this is just, you know, super simple, super easy.
Yeah.
Tastes great, but then super medicinal.
Yeah.
You know, for your party tray.
Oh, absolutely. And even though it's cilantro, that soapy taste that some people have, I used to have that problem where cilantro used to taste like either a smelly fridge or like soap to me. And I would have this dip and I couldn't taste the cilantro in it, which encouraged me to eat more. And then I found a study where cilantro, we've always been taught that it's a little genetic coding of either you like it or you don't. And in the study and further studies since, it actually shows that cilantro in and of itself, while getting rid of heavy metals, if you put it on your tongue and you get that taste, it's because it's reacting to the heavy metals in your body.
Oh, wow.
So I've had it enough now that I can have cilantro in my salsa. I can eat it regularly. I actually like the smell now, because the smell used to get to me, and now I want it, and I don't get that flavor all the time.
So what spices are we going to be adding in?
Okay, we're going to be adding cumin, and so I do 4 teaspoons of cumin, which you can also add a little bit more if you need to. And cumin is really good for your tummy.
I found, like, my first time with cilantro was, you know, probably good 20 years ago, and I found that it tasted like plastic bags.
Oh yeah, I've had that too. Yep.
So we're going to use
2 teaspoons of salt, and I'm using the Redmond salt because it's high in minerals, and that's something that we need daily. This I do level teaspoons of. I don't do heaping.
Yeah, especially with Redmond's, because Redmond's is like good quality salt and tastes salty.
Then I usually do ground pepper, and I do 40 twists, but we really like this pepper. So what that looks like usually is about a half a tablespoon.
Okay.
So quite a bit of pepper, but again, pepper is super good for you. And I do make sure to do a level
Of this fine ground
of
pepper.
the fine ground pepper, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't need to overdo it. Now I do 2 full tablespoons of red wine vinegar. This adds a little bit of kick. I'm sure you could use apple cider vinegar, but I wouldn't use just white vinegar.
Okay.
Yeah. And we do a half a cup of the sunflower seeds.
Level.
Level, yeah.
So that's just a 1/4 cup.
Perfect. And finally, 1/4 cup of water.
Okay.
So this is what we start with, and then we get to blending. I'm seeing that as I'm mixing it up, it is looking a little on the thick side, so I am just going to add a little bit more water to thin it out. We don't want too much because both the herbs have a high water content to them. Again, like I said before, there are many ways of doing shatta. Some people like it really, really thick. Some people like it on the thinner side. And I like mine a little bit more macerated.
So, a little taste test. Oh, that's hot.
Okay.
Ooh, that's good. Oh, that's good.
Okay. Salty enough?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Plenty salt.
Okay. All right. So we are done. The final stage that we're going to be going through is adding it to our jar and then putting olive oil in. The olive oil is, again, to taste, to thickness level. You want a good quality olive oil, which does mean that when this is refrigerated, it can get a little bit on the hard side.
Okay.
But you just take it out and honestly it smooths out very quickly.
Okay.
And then I do like putting a little olive oil on top to kind of cap it from oxidization.
Right. Okay. Smells good.
Absolutely. All right.
And you're just measuring with your heart.
Yep.
Okay.
Olive oil is good for us. To a relative degree. Okay. So.
I've never seen her make this. It's just I request it, or you know, we we make it to take to a party, and she just makes it. So I've never seen it made. So this is very cool.
I'm liking that thickness. It will mellow out a little bit because of the olive oil over a little bit of time, but not crazy.
I have a little bit of sourdough bread that we're going to put it on. See what it's like. I'll have a little bit more than that, please. Oh, it's delicious, Marissa. And I think it probably changes with, depending on the freshness of your ingredients, and you know, this is fresh garlic, and
Yeah.
so good. Just excellent.
Okay. So we do want to make sure that when we are growing our herbs that we know what soil that we're growing them into. Cilantro is one that does take minerals and other things from the soil.
Okay.
So if you're trying to get rid of those heavy metals in your body, you also want to be watching how your soil is. So doing it organically is always the best if you can.
Right. And of course I grow our cilantro in pots, so it's not going to leach, you know, and I'm using again our composted soil or farm to garden soil.
Yep, exactly.
That is absolutely delicious.
And now we have shatta.
Yay, summertime fun. I hope you will take some time to make yourself some very medicinal, healing, heavy metal detoxing dip for your summer parties. Of the different herbs that I pulled today, what are some ones that you've never grown or that you might be thinking of growing? So do put that down in the comments. So anyway, I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I want to thank Marissa for teaching me how to make her secret sauce, because I think she was avoiding letting me know about how to make the sauce. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care. God bless.